Hello everyone, so we're back again with the Junior Penetration Tester pathway. Now, our progress is here in the content discovery. So previously we have gone over Windows privileged escalation. Now I'm going upward and start from the beginning. So basically, you start with the introduction. I talked about that. They are very easy and simple rooms. I don't think you need a walkthrough for these rooms. Now the next one, intro to web hacking. The first one, walking an application. This room, I have already done this room even before the release of the pathway. So if you want the walkthrough for this room, you can just go to my channel and check out this video. Web application security review using browser developer tools, TryHackMe walking an application. I will put the video in the link description, no worries about that. Alright, today's room is content discovery. We will learn all the ways to discover or of discovering hidden content or private content on a web server that could lead to new vulnerabilities. It means we will be able, after learning this room or after finishing this room, you will be able to enumerate a web application, finding the possible hidden directories, possibly hidden contents, and also enumerating the framework and the technology the website is using. All right. So basically, first thing, deploy the machine. Now I am shifting to my virtual machine. Wait. So, okay. Right. So first thing we do, we're given an IP address. If you navigate to that IP address, you will see the ACMB IT support. I'm sure we enumerated this site before in previous rooms. So today I think we will have familiar idea of what this site is. So basically the first thing in finding information about any site, so we will go through multiple steps, all right? Now as you can see in the room we have around 12 tasks. In every task you're required to find different piece of information, and basically you will utilize different methods to find the information. So in task 2, for example, you will visit the Robots.txt file in order to answer the questions. The first thing we would do in enumerating any site, we would first visit the Robots.txt file. The Robots.txt file contains information about what search engines are allowed to crawl in the website. So for example, here we define all the user agents. It means all search crawlers, all search engines can index all of the content on the website except /staff portal. All right, it means search engines are not allowed to index this page and show it on the search results, which means this page is kinda private, internal. These guys, they don't want this page to be shown up in Google. Okay, so here we got one piece of information, which is there is an internal private page on the website. Now, if I try to visit that page, let's see what lies there. So we found the robots.txt endpoint. So that's a typical internal page. We found it through the robots.txt file, and I'm sure now the question is asking about this. What is a directory? In the robots.txt that isn't allowed to be viewed by web crawlers, we saw it was staff portal. So that's the first step. All right. Next thing, there is something called the sitemap. Sitemap.xml. So if you work in SEO, or if you work in the SEO field, you know that sitemap is responsible for indexing and showing all of the URLs in the website. So basically search engines would visit the sitemap.xml, index the sitemap, and understand the site structure. What are the current URLs in the website? For example, you see here the first URL is the main page, right? The next one is /news. Then we have /news/article, ID equal 1, 2, 3, /contact, /customers, /secret area. So now search engines understand the URL structure of the site, so they would be able to index the page. That's the function of the sitemap. Now, sitemap can also be useful when enumerating a website. As we said earlier, sitemap would reveal all of the URLs in the site. So, as you can see here down here, we have a URL that seems to be secret. Now, if we navigate to that site or to that URL, you see here a statement, you found the sitemap endpoint. Anyway, now the answer for that question is /secret area. I know I skipped the Favicon. Let's talk about the Favicon. Now basically the question here is, what framework did the Favicon belong to? The Favicon can be used actually to understand more about the framework the website is using, right? Could be content management system, could be anything, could be code igniter, right? These frameworks used for web development. If you look at the favicon of the site, you can understand more about the site. So let's try to click on the page and view page source. Now here, if we try to locate the favicon by searching favicon, oh, we don't have it. I think we're looking in the wrong place. Let me check out the task. So let's open this site. Yeah, so this is the site we are required to enumerate. Now, the idea behind enumerating the favicon is, if you look at the favicon here, every favicon indicates certain aspect or certain info about the website framework. For example, if you are a WordPress developer and if you didn't change your favicon here will be the default WordPress favicon. Now, if you look at the favicon, you understand that the site is using WordPress, right? Now, let's see here. From the favicon, it's saying something like CGI, right? CGI bin. Now, we will not leave that to the estimation and guessing. We will just take systematic methodology to extract the web framework from just the favicon. Now, let's right click on the view page source. Now, here you can see we have a link to the favicon. If you click on that, you see this is the favicon, right? Now, how do I extract the framework the website is using from the favicon? So basically, what we would do here, you would go to the command line and let's take the link and use curl -v for verbosity, and then we would output that to MD5. MD5 not found. Let me check on that. Command not found. Let me clear. MD5 sum. There is no MD5 sum. Why? I'm wondering. Let me check the URL. Oh, we have to check the file itself. So the file itself, we should take the URL here. So make sure when you want to extract the MD5 sum of the favicon, make sure the file or the last the URL refers to the file itself, favicon.ico. So we go back again, curl -v. And then after we curl the icon, we want to pipe that to MD5 sum to find the MD5 hash of this file. Let's see here. Go down. Yeah. So this is the MD5 sum. Next thing we would do, we would copy that, and then we would go to a site created by OWASP. This site contains a list, or this page contains a list of all of the favicons MD5 sums. And then with each MD5 sum for each favicon, there is the corresponding web framework. Let's search for ours, and ours indicates that this favicon, alright, refers to the framework this is the first time I hear about the CGI-IRC. So this is the framework the site is using, CGI-IRC. So this is the answer for your question. All right, so now we went over the Robots.txt, Favicon, Sitemap. Now what about the HTTP headers in this task? Okay, what is the flag value from the X flag header? Okay. So why HTTP headers? First, how do we retrieve the HTTP headers while interacting with any site? Of course, we use curl. Curl-v, and let's take the main URL. Okay. These are the HTTP headers. And HTTP headers contain a lot of information about the website you are interacting with. For example, it contains the host address, the type of HTTP request, and the user agent. In our case, it is curl. And of course, it contains information about the server itself, or the web server. In our case, the web server is nginx. The version is 1.18.0. And also, there is the content type, text, and this is the flag, X flag. Now, why these information are helpful in your enumeration? Simply, if you retrieve the server name, right, and the version, you would be able to look up an appropriate exploit for that version in case it is vulnerable, right? You would also understand more about the site content. And normally, there are also more headers than what we retrieved right now. And also, you can retrieve information about the HTTP request, but basically, the server itself, or the web server itself and its version, I know we can find it through nmap scan, but also if you learn more than one method in retrieving certain piece of information, it would be helpful in certain situations. So in our case, we are required to find a flag. This is the flag. Now, here we talk about manually discovering the framework. So, what is the flag from the framework's administration portal? Okay, what do you mean by manually, by the way? Manually, looking for a way to find out what is this website using for as a framework for web development, right? Manually meaning we have to look for clues in the site itself. Maybe we can find clues in the content. If you look through the content, for example, contact, customers, you may find information that would indicate that the website is built using certain framework. For example, in the case of WordPress, you would find blogs, you'll find the author, and sometimes you'll find WordPress itself in the signature and the footer. There are multiple ways actually to manually find out what the website is using for a framework. Now, if we go back to home, in this case, we can look at the page source, and if we scroll down, we check the comments of the page. Checking the comments at the very end, we see page generated in certain blah 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 seconds using the THM framework v1.2. So that is the framework used to build the site. So HTTP comments, blog posts, the footer are common places to look for when you want to enumerate or manually find out the framework the website is using. Now here we have a link for the framework itself. Let's take a look at that. Understanding the documentation of every framework is very important in your enumeration. So here we have the web framework that has been used by the site owners to build it. So what do we have? Home, changelog, documentation. Let's look at the documentation. The documentation for the framework is pre-installed on your website's administration portal. Once you have installed the framework, navigate to THM framework login path on your site. Okay. Okay, this is the admin login, right? You can log in with the username admin and the password admin. Now, this is not coincidental, by the way. Many documentations contain plain text passwords just to guide you how to log into your administration portal, right? Of course, they would advise you to change this password. Make sure you change this password. Now, certain people do not change the default password. They are too lazy to change that, and so that by reading the documentation, if you get lucky, you will be able to log into a certain site with these credentials or with the default credentials. That's why it's important to understand what is the framework the website is using and also to read its documentation. Now, if we use admin here, we get the flag, which means the site owners have not changed the password or the default password. Okay, Google dorking. Now, Google dorking deserve another video for that, but here the owners of this room listed some Google dorks that you can use actually to enumerate. Now let me explain these. So basically, if you go to Google, there are certain Google dorks that are beneficial to your enumeration. For example, if you're trying to find out the website's URLs or the website's links, right? I know you can visit the sitemap, I know you can use GoBuster or DirectoryBuster, but sometimes you can use Google Dorks. For example, the handler or the dork site. This one, if you put TryHackMe.com, it would list all of the URLs that contain TryHackMe.com in its URL. You see now we retrieve all the search results now are all about TryHackMe, contain all of the links /classrooms /activities /terms /business /hackback2 /frequently asked questions, and you can build actually a list of all of the URLs the website is using just by using Google Dork, right? The next one is InURL. InURL is a kind of a dork that would return all of the search results where the URLs contain the word you used in the dork here. For example, if I use TryHackMe as a word, now what's gonna happen? I will have all of the search results where the word TryHackMe is mentioned in the URL itself. I would not have any search results where the tryhackme.com is not mentioned. You see here LinkedIn, but because TryHackMe as a word is mentioned in the URL, Google returned that result for me. Crunchbase, it contains the word TryHackMe. Same here, Twitter, hashtag TryHackMe. Reddit, finance credits, TryHackMe coast. What do we have as well? In URL, site. For the question itself, what Google Dork operator can be used to only show results from a particular site? So it is site, right? I will make a room about Google Dorking, no worries about that, but this is a brief here that is beneficial to your, or appropriate for your enumeration. Now, Wappalyzer. Okay, let's talk about this. So Wappalyzer, if I go to the main site itself, is an extension. You can download it to your web browser, Firefox, Chrome, and after you download that, you will see it here. Wappalyzer lists information about the technology the website is using. For example, the web server is NGINX. The operating system is Ubuntu. The framework, the user interface framework is Bootstrap. Reverse proxies, JavaScript libraries. More info. Here's the premium, but the main information we're looking for, or a typical pen tester would look for, are actually listed in the free version. What would a pen tester look for? They would look for the web server itself, the JavaScript library, or the PHP version, if applicable, the operating system, etc. That's one way also you can use to find content and enumerate the website. Question? Yeah. Uh, Actually, it's not actually a question. It's just making sure you understand what is Wappalyzer. Wayback Machine. Now, Wayback Machine is also a beneficial tool if you want to find an old um, page or old content for a website. You can just here put the URL itself, and you can find information or pages that are very old, right? Maybe the owner has deleted actually the content, but you would still be able to find it in the Wayback Machine if the Wayback Machine has indexed the site before. GitHub, okay, nothing in here. S3 buckets. Now this is about the Amazon. So basically, I will tell you more about this. So here we have a URL, right? In the URL we have TryHackMe. Let me explain it here. So TryHackMe assets, right? .s3.amazon.aws. So this is a URL for an S3 bucket. S3 buckets is a term or is a way to store files on the cloud. If you are able to find a way to enumerate the S3 buckets of a certain site, you will be able to find all of the files, directories stored or shared by the owners of that site. I know it's not extensive information here, but we will also explain that more in later videos. Now, what about automated discovery? Here we go. The common way of finding information on any site. Now, we have gone over the manual methods, right? The sitemap, the robots, the headers, Wappalyzer, many manual ways, right, to find out hidden content on the site. What about the automated ways, if you don't have time to do all of that? So now, the automated ways is to use 3 tools. So basically the 3 tools are, by the way, for the members of the channel, I just shared a new notes file for the application penetration testing. It contains all of my notes on until far. I will be also adding to the note file as soon as possible. So now for that video, or for this video, okay, so the first way of enumerating application directories, Directory Buster. Now, Directory Buster is a way to find out hidden content, including directories and files. So the command for that is DirBuster -u. Let me copy it from here, it's better. Okay, just the URL. No, I'm getting lazy these days. Take the URL, and then we define the word list. So in my case, user share word list, sec lists, discovery, web content, common. Use this word list. So using automated tools such as Directory Buster requires you to define the URL of the page and the word list, so that the tool itself will go over the word list given in the command, and it will try to find out if there actually the words contained here are found in the URL itself by looking at the HTTP responses. If you click enter now, all right, I can understand that. Let's use the GUI interface. No. So it launches the GUI interface. Type in the URL, and here we navigate to the word list. So go up. Okay, share user. So where is the user? Now we have share. Word list, sec list, discovery, web content, and I will select common. So I will start, I'm going to remove the file extension because I want to enumerate all of the extensions and start. I know if you, what is that? If you're going to brute force files, then you must say what is the file extension is. Let's look here. What is the common file extension in the site? Okay, for now, I'm not gonna enumerate the file extensions. So okay, use black extension for now. If you are a fan of command line tools, you will not be happy with this tool, right? Because it is a GUI interface and it is not that nice to deal with, right? Okay, now we have found one, assets/assets. Now while this is running, let's jump to the next tool. The next tool is, most of you know about this tool, GoBuster. The same logic, you supply the URL and supply a word list and you go from there. GoBuster dir-u, and we copy the URL -w user share word lists sec lists discovery web content common.txt. Let's look at the progress here. So we have /assets, /contact, /customers, /development log. Okay, the third tool is FFUF. I created a separate video for that tool. I'm gonna also put the video in the link the description of the video. Now, FFUF, as you can see, it can be used for more than enumerating files and directories. It can be used for fuzzing parameters, and also can be used to brute force login forms. Many use cases for that tool. But for this video, we will only take care of the directories and files, since we are talking about finding hidden contents. So now look back here. So take the node file or the command itself. Okay, so I have defined -u for the URL and -w for the word list itself. FFUF. All right, that's fine. Now here only we change the URL. And we start. Nope. I guess I have to change the order of the parameters. So we copy these. And from here we paste. Try that. What's the problem? Keyword fuzz defined but not found in headers. Oh, okay, so in FFUF we forgot one important thing, which is mentioning the word fuzz. So here, FFUF will use the word list here and replace every word instead of fuzz and monitor the response of the web server. If it is 404, it means the directory or the file not found. If it is 200, it means we found a file or directory. Again, assets, contact, customers, development log, monthly, news, private, robots, sitemap, and done. Now let's correlate the output from all of these three tools. So DirBuster, what DirBuster has found for now, let's check out. So assets, private, it's kind of slower than other tools, but actually, as you can see, the content aligns with what we found with other tools. Assets, private, we can see private here as well. Robots, we also see robots here as well with GoBuster. Now the same content has also been found with FFUF, so we're good, right? Using more than one tool actually is very beneficial if you want to be sure about your results. So let's go back answer the questions. What is the name of the directory beginning /mo, monthly, and what is the name of the log file that was discovered development? So guys, that was it for today's video. Of course, stay tuned. I will be covering the upcoming videos for this pathway. Hopefully we can finish it. And for now, see you in the next video.